standing ovation, let us welcome Samson Olatunde to the Lofty Heights Conference 2020.
You know, I like it when I see young people doing great things, okay? But I want to know, what propelled you into doing what you're doing?
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I want to say a big thank you to my friend Wale for inviting me. Can we just celebrate? Let's celebrate Wale. 5 years of doing this. I could imagine. I got into business for survival reason. I had 3 people in university sponsored by my parents. I just asked myself a simple question. If I lose my parent, what happens? That means I'm going to be out of university. And then I needed to look for opportunities within the student environment. I went to Olabisi University. I had 5,000 in my class, 5,000 people receiving lectures. Wow. And then there was no PA system, there was no AC, so the first 2 rows, you have to fight to sit on the first 2 rows if you want to hear the lecturer. So I said to myself, if I signed in for business admin, I should be able to run a business not having an extra year. I'm not fighting for first class, but I should be able to engage, employ, and make money from 5,000 people. That was, so Debola talked about purpose, other people talked about passion and all of that. I didn't understand business structuring, how to make money. I just wanted to get myself out of making decisions on my own, making money for myself, helping my parents out. That was what got me into business. So I'm always praying for my lecturers to be late because I stopped lecture to go look for a way to train people how to use the system. As a den, I mean, I came from an average family as a den, and so you could imagine that I was collecting 5,000 as my pocket money, and then before 1 week or 2 weeks, the 5,000 is gone. So anytime I call my parents, they know that the last thing I want to say is to ask for money, so they'll just cut off. Wow. And then that was the beginning of a breakthrough for me because I looked at the market and I asked myself, what can you sell? And I realized that the only skill set or knowledge I could exchange for value, for what I want, is for me to teach people how to use the system.
I understand that you made your first million even as an undergraduate. Can you tell us about that, please?
Okay, so in the process of starting this, I went to church and then they gave me access. I couldn't buy a Pentium 1 system. So a friend who was a computer science student gave me his Pentium 1 system. So we started training people in church. And then people started coming to me from one school fellowship to another. I was training people and I realized that people were coming to me for more demands. They want me to write projects, they want me to do so many things. So I realized that there's a need for me to train myself how to go globally.
Sorry to cut you short. Yeah. You mentioned that a friend gave
me a Pentium 1 system.
So there's always someone working behind the scene who helps others up.
Yeah.
And that's why we're stronger together. Please tell us more.
And then I got to made my first 3 million, that's $10,000 in the space of 3 weeks, was to go learn how to make money on the internet because I was always doing night browsing every night, and I had Yahoo guys who was willing to teach me how to do the business in a negative way. But I said to myself, if there's a negative part of people spending their time, energy to do this in the opposite way, there should be a positive way of doing business.
A round of applause for both of them, please. Yes, Mr. Samson, you also mentioned the place of relationship. And I understand that there are people who played a major role, key people who played a major role in your growth. You mentioned your brother, you also mentioned your friend. Can you please tell us more about how relationship helped you?
Okay, so I think we should clap for Wale. I'm trying to pick from. Okay, so, and then how I made 3 million in 3 weeks was I got a CD middle of the night, called a printer, and then from there, first thing in the morning, I went to different bus terminals, and I was distributing the flyers. Because in Olabisi University, you have different bus terminals where buses move people to the auditorium. And then I got different calls coming in, doing when I was in the auditorium, and I had to run out to tell people to come to Motion Ground. Now, that CD I got, I didn't know what was inside. All I just did was duplicate. I duplicated the CD because I just wanted to be out of this poverty level. Poverty and penury, none is good for your life. Yes. The grandmother of poverty is penury. May you never see any of those two. Amen. Because of my hunger level, like you said, I was at the photo booth, and then I was selling the CD for 1,000 naira. And in 1 week, I made 100,000 naira. Wow. And I remember that the man said, look for biggest platform where you have followers, and as you're making money, look for a way to increase your turnover. So I placed a full-page advert on Success Digest. That was a 2 weeks newspaper, and people were calling me from different paths within Lagos, within Nigeria, Lagos, Abuja, and all of that. And then this was a guy who was collecting 5,000 naira. My account was dormant. I didn't know what was happening, but people were paying to their accounts. So I actually put 4 prices on that advert, and people were paying from 7,500 to 15,000 to 25,000. Wow. And then I got a call from the bank saying that, are you allowed to say something? You have to come. Because Yahoo was rampant. So they're saying that, and then when I got, this guy collects 5,000, he can't save. My account was dormant. People were paying there. But the account officer said that people pay for every 2 minutes, people will pay into their accounts. Wow. And as at then, I had close to 1 million naira because I was seeing the alert, but I was afraid to go to the bank. As I said, poverty is a deadly disease. Yeah. And then I got a call from a manager saying that, oh, you this Yahoo guy, you have to get to our office. If not, we're going to arrest you. And then the only thing I could hold was that newspaper. Because as a proof, I couldn't imagine that I had close to more than $1 million in my account. And I got to the bank, asking the security, please, I want to see the manager. And they looked at me, manager, come and go inside and see the customer care.
This is so inspiring because there's so many people, so many young people who would never dare put in the advert of what they're selling on the national newspaper. That is so inspiring.
And then I got to the bank and said, oh, young guy, what are you doing? And all of that. So I placed the paper on his table, and everywhere was quiet. And for 5 minutes, he looked up and said, can I pay into this account? And then at that point, I was shivering.
Wow.
I mean, because I had placed another advert on Complete Sports. So as at then, the money was close to like 2.7 million.
Wow.
I couldn't call because I'm sure that if I called my dad, I may lose him. He's 80 years old now. Wow. But because he worked for 15 years, and then after 15 years as a driver, they gave him a plaque and a TV. Wow. And then I tried to imagine that if I place a call to anybody in my house saying that I have 3 million, I mean, my dad, in his entire life, 15 years, there was no 3 million in their account.
Wow. Please tap your neighbor and say, find something to sell. Samson, I know that mentorship played a huge role in your life, and I understand the place of mentorship as well. Can you please tell us, who are these mentors that helped you to where you are now?
Okay, so I have one of my mentor here. Please help me celebrate Nia this one here.
Oh, a round of applause for Pastor Nia.
I think I need to stand at this moment. I remember coming to you and I shared my idea about the fact that I want to publish a book and all of that. And that was the first time. I can't forget that in my life. You gave me the full money to publish that book.
Wow. Wow. I'm sure he can't even remember.
He can't. And then the reality about life is that we must understand that you can achieve so much if you lack the place of mentorship in your life. Yes. For everything I've become today is by the help of God, my knowledge, and the people I have who are mentors. Mentors will help you eliminate all forms of mistakes and errors and help you get to your place of destination on time. Because they've gone ahead of you, so when you're... No, I'm not talking about tormentors. Because they are tormentors and they are mentors. I'm talking about your friends can't be your mentors because both of you are still trying to struggle together. I'm talking about somebody who has gone through that path and then understand the rudiments, the mistakes and all of that, and then helping you out to achieve so much in little time. That's mentorship. So I want to advise and encourage every one of you. You want to blow, but there are people that are ahead of you who have done this over and over again. It's over 10 years I've been in business. I've never borrowed money from a bank. I've written 30 books. I have 4 complaints.
Wow.
But the reality about it is that I said to myself, there must be something I'm selling in exchange for value. There are 170 billion people on earth. That means there are 170 billion opportunities, 170 billion problems. The question is that you've got your brain. Knowledge is not just power. Knowledge is profit when you know how to turn that knowledge and apply it in exchange for solving problems to make money for yourself.
Thank you so much, Mr. Samson.
To Mr. Samson, so what exactly was in the CDs that you were selling? Oh, it's not Yahoo Yahoo, don't worry.
Okay. So just go to Google. I've been doing it for over 10 years. I published my first 4 books without writing. I sold 4,000 copies and I made a lot of money. It's still, the business is still on, you can still do it. It's called private label rights. Most of you must have seen that, but you don't know how you make money from it. Private label rights. You can look for private label rights in any industry, consulting, farming. There are people who are freelancers. What they do is that they write, and the only way they can make money is to sell their works. So they give you access. You have that we say right to do anything to the material. You can publish, you can put your name on it, you can do anything to it. And then for my 30 books I've done so far, the first 4 books, I didn't write, I didn't do anything. I just got the book, went to a printer, got an ISBN number, made additions to corrections to whatever I want to do, change dollars to Naira, and then put my name on it, make sure that nobody can copy from this book except to get my permission. And I went to the marketplace and I made money for myself. So the reality is that we have access to the internet, we have mobile phones, but most of us don't know how to convert what we see to reality of making money for ourselves. So the information about the CD and all of that is just me having access to private label rights and knowing how to turn private label rights to money for myself.
Thank you so very, very, very much, Wale and Sam. And thank you so much, Ajabs, for that presentation, for the session. How many of you were inspired? Did you take anything home? Beautiful.
Mr. Samson Olatunde, very inspiring session. Thank you for being such an inspiration. I think what I enjoyed about your session is that you've gone through what many people here have gone through. You're not like someone who said he didn't have any help, he only had $1 million to start business. You talked about hunger and drive. Very inspiring. Thank you very much. On behalf of this great platform, we want to say we appreciate you and we hope to see more success in your life. Thank you very much.